If you've ever tried to use AI and you were underwhelmed with the results, this video is for you. Today, what we're going to go walk you through is how we can create prompts that don't suck so that will save you time in the future. If you're asking yourself, well, who is this for? It's for business owners, employees, and students. And in terms of what you're going to get out of today's video, we're going to go provide you with templates that you could copy and paste. We'll walk you through how AI models are really set up to work. Then also, you'll get the links to the source documents I used to curate today's information. I got a lot of the material from platform.openai.com and went through a few pages of their documentation just to summarize everything for you. The main goal of what we're looking at today is how we could prompt engineer more effectively. When we're working with AI models, there's a few things that we could do to get better output. One of them is to fine tune a model. That's a bit technical. However, today we'll just walk you through prompt engineering. In terms of some before and afters, if your prompts right now look like this on the left-hand side and you're underwhelmed with the results, there's no surprise there. If you want to have better results, better output from OpenAI, what you want to do is you want to have more description. You want to provide more context, and we're going to go walk you through some tips right below. I believe I have 7 here. Number 1 is to just simply ask AI for feedback. So whenever you're writing a prompt, and we'll get into this in just a second, you can say, hey, I don't like this output. I want to make sure that my output sounds more like insert desired output. What could I do to change the prompt? And then it'll provide you some recommendations that you could use those to update into your prompt. You provide context and examples. You could split complex tasks into simpler tasks. We could give the model time to think, and we use something called chain of thought, asking the AI to respond using logic. We'd use hashtags, line breaks, and triple quotations to reference certain parts of our text or of our context that we're using. Additionally, what we have here is we can provide clear instructions. And the way I break it down is I have a system prompt, I have a user task prompt, I have the context, and then I also have output rules. Diving into these a little bit more in depth, in terms of the feedback, what I always do is I say, hey, OpenAI, from 1 to 10, rate this prompt, and then provide ways of how I can improve it. This is probably one of the easiest ways of how you can get more consistent output from OpenAI. I also provide specific instructions. So I break down a prompt into system role, or user task, context, and output rules. And we'll see this in a moment. There's something called few shot examples. So what this is just providing very specific examples. So if you're looking for AI to create hooks for you for social media, for Facebook ads, whatever it might be, what you would then do is you would provide hook example 1, hook example 2, hook example 3. And then in your prompt, you would reference saying, give me an output similar to the 3 examples that we listed. Next, on the same example of creating a Facebook ad, if you're asking OpenAI to create a world-class Facebook ad, chances are it's not going to go work in its first shot. What's a lot more effective to do is to break the task of creating a Facebook ad into bite-sized pieces. What I've done in the past for companies I've worked with is we broke down Facebook ads with creating an idea first, creating the body copy, creating the call to action, and then creating a hook after. So that one task initially broke down into 4 small sections. Next is using the chain of thought reasoning when executing the output from your prompt. And then lastly, one thing I do here, you don't have to use necessarily like line breaks. However, I've used triple quotations and then also hashtags to really separate different sections in the prompt. If you follow all of these, you could turn your dry output into something that's a lot more desirable. Here are the resources, but what we're going to go look at in just a moment now is how we can change this prompt over here into this. And because we made these changes, we made it a lot more descriptive. We got way better output. So how do we actually do that? Well, we use the example of making a burger. And at first you could see that we had an intro, we had an outro, and we also had the ingredients. We didn't want the ingredients list, so we just took that out. However, we wanted step-by-step instructions. So what we did is we made this prompt. And just to walk you through the level of depth that we use is for a system prompt, we want to just let it know that it's a smart and helpful assistant. When it came to the task, we wanted it to create a step-by-step guide on how anyone could make a world-class burger. When completing the task, we wanted the AI to make sure it uses chain of thought reasoning to ensure the answer is logical and accurate. We wanted to make sure that it had a time estimate. We wanted to make sure that each sub-step was on a separate bullet point, and that, let's see what else we have here. It includes numbers, measurements, and the amount of ingredients that we will be using. For context, we said that our restaurant is Connor's Burgers, and our world-class burger is called the Hamburger. Please note that we use triple quotations here so that it just understood exactly what the name of the hamburger is. And then we also want to provide a little bit more context, letting them know that we make our patties from scratch while we use pre-made sauces. In terms of the output rules, what we used here is we wanted to get an answer back without jargon. We wanted the answer to be at a grade 5 reading level. We wanted it without an introduction or without closing remarks. What else do we have here? And then also each sub-step is on a separate bullet point. And then just compare this over here to this prompt or to this output. You can see that it's a lot more descriptive. And that's the overview. So in the future, if there's any takeaway from this video, it's that the more you put into your prompt, the more you'll get out. If you create simple prompts like this and you're wondering why you're not getting the desired output, you probably have to put more energy and effort into creating a prompt and leveraging AI for what it's capable of. So that's the video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Cheers.